Welcome to a Star Citizen and BoredGamer November 2021 channel update. It's probably the busiest and most packed month for content for Star Citizen, so let's jump right in. And let's start with last month's giveaway winners. There are two giveaway winners for last month's giveaway on my channel. Jack Long won an Argo Cargo, congratulations, and Alex Bingham won an Origin 100i with a Star Citizen gameplay package. For November, we have a new giveaway, and it's for a Mercury Star Runner, the multi-crew cargo data runner that can do a little bit of everything the game has to offer, almost at least. It is my favourite ship in the game, with hidden vents and a load of facilities, and it's perfect for 3 or 4 crewmen to run around and do stuff in the verse. Comment on any of my videos made during the month to be in for a chance of winning that. So yes, November. A lot is happening with Star Citizen. 3.15.0 should be going live by the end of the week, probably, and they've been adding loads of additional features beyond what is shown on the release roadmap for it. So, some of the Gen 12 renderer stuff, iCache bits, lots of performance optimizations, putting some of the balance back in, getting shield variations in there again, lots of stuff like that. There's going to be a full wipe. So ships, items, AVEC, merits, everything that isn't promotional or bought with real money is going to get reset. So not everything, but most stuff's getting reset. So it's time to grind again. It is going to be fresh. And I actually think this is going to bring a lot more people back to the game, and a lot of people that play the game regularly play it even more regularly. Server crash recovery is a new feature that will massively help cargo traders feel at ease. It saves the state of your ship and its cargo if you 30k or crash, server crash, and you can get your stuff back pretty easily. There is obviously going to be a bit of how stable is the server, how stable is the client, how performant is the game currently. It's looking pretty awesome. However, stuff changes during PTU, it changes during the live build, so we will literally have to wait and see how good that sort of general gameplay experience is. As I said, you're likely going to see a lot of active players, and prison, at least in the short term, is going to be a lot more effective as a punishment and a deterrent, because no one has any merits to be able to get out easily. The new inventory updates mean that you have your gear proximate to you as well, so you can only use it if it's proximate. Your starting location is important, as all your stuff's sort of delivered there. Also, that's going to be shared with the station that's in orbit, so don't worry too much. I'm probably going to be starting at Microtech New Babbage rather than Orison. The reason I don't want to start at Orison is because there's no pad there for being able to deploy vehicles. Ships, yeah, but not vehicles. If I got a ground vehicle, which I have many, it's harder to get them off planet there. Also, the station in orbit around Orison is Port Olisar, and Port Olisar does not have all the same facilities that the other planets basically have, because Port Olisar is a legacy station, and as such doesn't have the new clinics or hospitals there as well. So let's talk about that actually. So the new medical mechanics are pretty big as a new gameplay loop. You can temporarily heal injuries that you can get with various drugs. If you want to more permanently treat an injury, you'll have to get someone to a medical bed, and different levels of medical bed can treat different severities of injuries. The idea there, and you'll respawn at a hospital or clinic when you die, and you'll be able to set that respawn point by actually going to visit the location there. The Cutlass Red, that can't be used as a respawn point anymore, that Cutlass Red, but the Carrack and the 890 jump can. But it's the downed states that really make this sort of quite fun and a big addition to the game. So if you take enough damage to basically have your health go to 0, you'll go down into a down state. Now, you can take a huge amount of damage and just insta-die still, but typically, as long as your ship hasn't blown up or no one's coup de grace-ing you, you can sort of get rescued. You're downed there, you can put out a service beacon, bam, put out a service beacon, someone could come and rescue you. Or, if you're with a team, well, they can just come and get you. Which is really, really useful. So it adds a huge new element to the game. It's not just sort of like, oh, I'm dead, respawn. You can choose to respawn if you wanted to, but yeah, the fact that people can rescue you, especially with service beacons, is fantastic. And that is the gameplay that means are really looking forward to it doing some content on medical rescues. During the previous PTU patches, there were a load of bugs, and players didn't know that you were coming to rescue them, so it was actually quite hard to do. But the mechanics are working a lot better now, and I want to be a private combat medic. I think it's a great thing to do in the game at the moment. It's a good laugh. All of that, with a load of fixes and new FPS bunker missions, are all pretty exciting, and it's looking like the game is in a really good state. But we won't know until it's in our hands for live, because obviously anything could happen. It could be incredibly buggy. It could be incredibly sort of There could be a load of problems with the servers or the client or whatever. We will be checking all the gameplay out and doing a new Start Here Star Citizen guide, as well as guides and content for each of those new features. Something potentially even bigger than 3.15, though, is the 2951 Intergalactic Aerospace Expo that starts on the 19th of November and runs until the 1st of December. We will be covering that expo each day, as different manufacturers are sort of giving you access to try different ships for free during this free-to-play event. And there's going to be a massive ship sale as well, so there's a lot going on. There are new ships and vehicles beyond just the Redeemer and Ares, which we're expecting to be added to the game at the same time as the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo goes live. And we're going to do a buyer's guide for those ships and more, tours of all of that. I am going to be streaming most days that the Expo is on, as well as producing a video on, this is a sales guide, this is what's going on with it. And if you want to know what some of those vehicles and ships are that are in the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, at least based on the leaks, then please check out my spoilers video on that. I'm expecting a 3.15.1 patch to come out around the same time. It makes sense. They sort of deploy it with the Tobin Convention Centre sort of being made active again at Microtech, which is where the Expo is this year. And they're adding the Redeemer and adding the Ares at the same time. So that's a huge amount of content, but it's also quite a big time investment from me and Zin, because each day we need to record to get content out for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, as well as cover the game news and potentially stream too. So there's just a huge amount going on. The end of the year is always incredibly busy with CitizenCon, then 2 major patches, and the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, and sometimes other bits like the financials for Star Citizen going out, and lots of other news for the game. But if you want to know what's going out at each day of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, we do have a schedule, but we will just be covering it each day, and you'll be able to see what's at the actual Expo Hall, and we'll do a little bit of a tour, and we'll see what's available to rent, what's available to buy, what's new, when the limited hull ships are on sale, and how many are on sale at what time, all that sort of jazz will be covered. What else, though, during November? Well, there's a fan European Star Citizen convention that's supposed to be pretty good, Beacon. They've got a pre-show and sort of main event that starts on the 6th of November, 7 p.m. UTC on twitch.tv/beacon_events. There is an in-game event before that as well. It's worth checking out. They have loads of guests and stuff going on. I'll chuck some links down below so you can check that out if you are interested. So, we've got some video and content plans already lined up. We didn't get round to doing proper medical rescue gameplay in October because there were too many bugs. And this is true of the bunker missions as well, the new FPS stuff. But you can expect to see all of that gameplay in all of its glory this month, as well as a review of all the different gameplay Star Citizen has to offer for each role, old and new, because mining and cargo hauling and all this sort of stuff should be a lot more viable, especially with the wipe, and there's a lot of other tweaks and stuff that's going on in Star Citizen beyond what is on the roadmap. Zin has a lore series that she does on my channel, and it seems to be pretty popular, and she's sort of able to go off and find her own stories now, and she covers the lore she's interested in, or if it's topical. So if you have any suggestions for that, I will make sure that she sees it. Something that we keep on planning to bring back every month is the org and the community spotlight. This looks at different orgs that players can join and interviews their leaders, but also includes interviews potentially with ex-CIG devs and developers of apps or Star Citizen associated products and hardware and things like that. So I think it's important to have, and I want to do it twice a month, so once every 2 weeks is the idea. But it can actually take quite a long time to get them set up and planned, and then sometimes people aren't appropriate for the interviews, or they've got sort of toaster mics. So we will be looking at doing an org and probably dev or some sort of Star Citizen related product once a month, so once every 2 weeks we'll sort of interchange that. And also, me and Zin do our sort of Hot Takes podcast once every 2 weeks is the idea as well. So we'll do one org spotlight, community spotlight thing, and then podcast the next week, and then back to community spotlight, and then we can just keep on having it rotating, and that should be interesting and good for content, hopefully, maybe. But we will be covering all the Star Citizen news and patch notes and roadmap updates as they turn up as well. Inside Star Citizen should be back with us this week or next week, I believe. I'm looking forward to seeing what's being added or removed from Alpha 3.16, the end of year patch as well, so we should find out that pretty soon. We should have the monthly report real soon too. I love summarising those. They cover a lot of content and give us a good understanding of where Cloud Imperium are with the project. I am going to be trying to organise a studio tour at CIG's new offices when they get them in Manchester. So I will be poking CIG about that, and I'll give some information about what might happen with that, because I'll try and get questions from my community, or ask people what sort of things I should be trying to do. I'll see if I can interview Erin or Chris or whoever's in the sort of office at the time, that sort of stuff. So we'll see what's going on with that, assuming that I'm offered an interview or a tour there, which I hope I would be. I'm also planning to start setting up a big bar citizen in the first quarter of 2022. So I'll start talking about that soon. It will be probably me renting out a bar or pub in Manchester or around Manchester, maybe near Wilmslow, sort of in between those areas, and basically inviting a load of people down there to do a big bar citizen, and we'll have a pub quiz and we'll do some activities throughout the day, but it's going to be a big Star Citizen social in the UK is the idea, and hopefully a load of devs will come down and you can talk to them, but nothing official. It won't be like an official Star Citizen sponsored by CIG event or anything. It's going to be very much a fan thing, because with that allows me to get CIG devs to come down more readily, I think, rather than having it super organised or having them to worry about health and safety and that sort of stuff so much. The BoredGamer channel is growing at a reasonable pace as well. I always see bigger numbers in the views and subs during the last quarter of the year, and that seems to be going pretty well. But this is also compounded with a lot of people joining the channel, but with the join button, becoming a channel member, or becoming Patreons as well. So that goes a huge way in helping support the channel. I mean, it is literally money in mine and Sin's pockets, and we want to make as much content as we can and keep up with hardware and all that sort of jazz. I've seen a big uptick on people doing just that, so thank you very much for that. We are planning to have at least one exclusive video a month, but I'm also interested in knowing what other perks you'd like for becoming a Patreon or channel member. We do some exclusive posts and have polls and things like that going out. Sometimes videos are out there a little bit earlier, and I do want channel members to help mold the channel somewhat. You have access to me, but people have access to me pretty much anyway. You can email me. Things like we could do a monthly Zoom call with everyone that's sort of like a Patreon or channel member, or we could vote on some video topics or organise some play sessions or something like that. That's a reminder as well. Assuming that 3.15 is pretty stable, you can expect me and Sin to be streaming gameplay once a week as well. That's what we've been wanting to do for at least a year, and wanting to get people involved in some organised videos and footage to capture as well, which I'm going to sort of palm off on Zin. Zin, make sure you organise things so that people can play games with us and we can get some more sort of footage for everyone assaulting this complex together, or some people defending and some people attacking, that sort of stuff. Some other slightly less channel related stuff. I'm doing pretty well, considering my family and home are reasonably good as well, even after the passing of my father, who is genuinely terribly missed. I absolutely adore my father. He is and was a good man. Everything is a lot more bearable each day, though, to be honest, like quite genuinely. If anything tragic like that happens to you or your family, and it will at some point, which is just life, know that you can get over it, and that talk about it when you want to talk about it with people. Or don't if you don't, or whatever. But if you need help, reach out. And if you don't need help, then reach out to someone else occasionally and check to make sure they're okay. But don't badger them. I think I am doing pretty well with my mental health as well. I'm a lot more restrained and calm, much less stressed as a person. I am trying to regularly exercise. I've got a blood test in a couple of weeks, so hopefully that's all good. I've lost a ton of weight, but I've put a little bit of it back on. I was on keto, and then I've decided, you know what? I'm going to eat a diet of mostly salmon and rice. I very much like my sushi and stuff like that as well, but I don't want to be tubby gamer ever again. I spend a lot of my time sitting down, so I think it's worth trying to be as healthy as I can beyond that. I'm still shilling for NordVPN. They are a product I use, and they pay well for referrals, so check them out if you are after a VPN, nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. You get deals there, or check the links below. Bam. Also, people seem to quite like my random little ads I do at the end of videos. That's the sort of plan, almost entirely, but probably not exclusively, but mostly any sort of ads and stuff like that we'll do at the end of the videos. So finished all the concept of the video. If you don't want to watch about the ship giveaway and any ads and supporting the channel more, then you don't have to. I don't like it when people have like at the beginning of their video have a minute-long sort of ad for something. And I was like, come on, I just want to see the content. I was also going to say, it's In's driving test today, so please wish her luck. But to be honest, she'd only fail due to random circumstance because she's pretty confident. But I've just found out that she passed. which made me record this last bit of the video. So congratulations to her, and please feel free to send her retroactive luck. Maybe it was that. Maybe that's why she passed. I'm not sure there is anything left to talk about, though. November is going to be an extremely packed month with a huge amount of content, and if you want to tell me what content you'd like to see, just chuck it in the comments below, because that will affect what I produce, or at least when I produce it. I'm listening. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my other videos, of which there will be many this month, and feel free to click on the join button, or become a Patreon, or sub, and tickle bells, whatever. Thanks for watching, guys. You take care, and I'll see you in the verse.